Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Don't know what's happening with my internet, but I'm here now. Anyway, my name is Diana Rader-Zisselman. I am so excited for today's topics and to get to introduce our speaker. First of all, I do want to thank Martha Sanchez. She's our translator. She's been with Nu Skin for 19 years. She's a former fire captain and was able to retire to do news full-time just recently. She's a diamond in the business. She's a dancer. She's an IT engineer. She's just a great person, and I really appreciate her serving us by translating into Spanish. And today we are going to be talking about two of my favorite products. So I'll give you a little bit about my background and then we'll get going. I have a master's degree in psychology. I was in healthcare. I worked for Pfizer Pharmaceutical, and my husband wanted to do Nu Skin. He's dear friends with the founder, Sandy Tillotson. And after some trepidation on my part, I joined him in the business, and it has been the best thing we've ever done. It's allowed us to live all over the world. We were able to live in Asia. We spent a lot of time in South America. We lived in Budapest, Hungary. My internet's not good. So it's just been the greatest thing we've ever done. It's allowed me to do my three most valuable things, which is spend time with my friends and family, travel, and be able to help other people achieve their dreams. The thing that got me in the business, my husband started for the business. I started because of the science. So it is my pleasure to get to introduce Tanner Gibb today. He's been with the company 15 years. I used to be so excited when he started and he was on the call center line, and I would get him and ask him about products, and he knows everything about everything. His job is to research what we want to make, what competitors do, what's out there in the market. So he's in charge of really education, science. Again, he's been with the business 15 years. He loves soccer and coaching his kids, or for those of you in South America, football, and Europe, like it's properly said. He loves to coach football. He's also a phenomenal dancer. And one of the questions we got for today was, would Tanner be willing to dance on Zoom? And the answer was no, you have to go to Nu Skin to see that. So make sure you get your tickets to Nu Skin Live, or come to Team Elite University in Utah, and maybe you'll get to see Tanner dance. So without further ado, Tanner, why don't you come on? And I would love to get started with some information about the Collagen Plus, which is, again, one of my absolute favorite products that we make.
Perfect. Thanks for the intro. Sorry about your internet struggles. I think we all have those on occasion.
Yeah, because I live in the backwoods. I don't know what's happening. I'm like in Florida. It doesn't make any sense. But I would love to start, Tanner, with asking you, why is collagen important? And there's so many on the market. Why is ours different? Like, why did we even go down this road?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I have slides to guide me through this, but let me just answer the question. So why is collagen such a hot topic? Well, collagen is the most abundant protein in the body by far. And it is super important for the structure of our skin, hence it's a beauty thing, but it's also important for tendons, joints, ligaments, bone, muscle. I mean, it is found throughout the entire body, and it's absolutely critical. One of the key problems is that, well, it declines as we get older, and it declines when we're out in the sun, right? In beautiful Florida, the sun is shining, and yes, we get the vitamin D, but guess what it's doing to the skin and to the collagen? It's degrading, it's damaging the collagen. And so with aging and sun exposure, along with pollution and so many things, it's going downhill. So we need something to supplement with to be able to boost collagen naturally inside of the body. And today, hopefully in my presentation, everyone will get a good feel of why not all collagen peptides are created the same. Some are effective, some are not proven, what really matters, and hopefully we can address all these questions as we go through it today.
Awesome.
Perfect. Can you see my slides? We pull it up? I think so.
We're all good.
So, well, actually, I'm gonna go back. So there's my beautiful family, for those who don't know, by the way. My wife, my 3 kids, I coached them all of their soccer teams actually this past year. So I was really busy coaching soccer, but they play tennis and pickleball. We live outdoors. We love sports. You know, they're my why for all things. So I just briefly went over this. Look, collagens are going down with pollution, smoking, stress, especially the environment. So what do we do about it? What is our solution? Well, we created this incredible Collagen Plus product. There's a reason behind the plus. It's not your generic or your typical collagen. We have these bioactive collagen peptides, lutein, and ceramides. So we're going to talk about these things. First and foremost, not all collagen peptides are created the same, right? We have these peptides that go through a controlled treatment, and then what happens is they are hydrolyzed to form these different peptides. And what's key to the science here is that there's a specific patent where they found a specific size of peptides or a weight of peptides that is more effective for beauty, and that is 2 kilodaltons. So there are different modes of action of how these peptides work. We have this dual action here where we have these building blocks, but we also have cell signals. So pretty much what happens is these peptides, they bind to receptors on your cell and they stimulate a process to actually make new collagen and make new elastin. We have this unique peptide fingerprint that's absorbed sufficiently intact. What that means is that some of these peptides, they're absorbed intact to be able to stimulate this process. And another key question that comes up is that, hey, what about all these different types of collagen, right? We have collagen type 1, we have type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5, et cetera. Well, and you're going to see products in the marketplace that tout like, oh, we have, you know, this type, or we have 5 different types. And some people think, oh, well, 10 different types must be better than one type, right? No, that's actually not true. When it comes to the structure of these different peptides, they're so similar that the bioactivity of these peptides is independent of the type. What actually matters is getting the size of the peptides. What matters is getting a clinically effective dose of the peptides. And what matters is that if there's actually clinical studies that back up the peptides that you use, and we meet all of those criteria. So what about these bioactive collagen peptides? Well, this is the beginning of the research that was done, showing that these peptides are better than common or generic peptides in terms of stimulating and producing new collagen in your skin cells. And it's much better than gelatin or proline or glycine as well, which are the key amino acids that are naturally found within collagen. And then they went on to do many clinical studies. So these are third-party clinical studies that were done that show differences in increased skin elasticity. They show differences in reduced lines and wrinkles, and they show differences in nails or nail growth. There's actually other studies that have been done as well. One of my favorite pieces, yeah.
Are these, this says it's on the collagen peptides. Were these done on the final product yet, or was this just on the peptides we're using?
This is just on the peptides. In fact, this is the reason why we were so excited about using these peptides in our product. We're like, wow, look at these studies, look how effective they are. And then we combined it with a lutein and the ceramides to be able to formulate a comprehensive blend. And then we did a clinical study on the blend. So this is all on top of what we get from the blend in our formula.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that.
It's a good question. So these are third-party studies that were done. And one of the most impressive findings here is the increase in collagen synthesis. So you can see, looking at type 1 collagen, there's a 65% increase. Now, I've read a lot of papers about collagen peptides, and you can see increases of 3% or 6% or 11%, nothing close to 65%, to be honest with you. A lot of studies don't even measure collagen. And so this finding is very, very, very impressive. So after all of that, we're like, okay, we have to have these peptides in our product because they're so good, they're effective. They're not your grandma's collagen peptides or your neighbor's peptides that you get, across the street or at a regular retail store. And then what we did is we added the lutein for that radiance and that benefit, combined with the ceramides. And we said, hey, do you know what? Let's do a clinical study to see the benefits and combine it with LumiSpa to see the difference. And this is what we can see here. You can see we have a placebo group on skin texture We have LumiSpa that does really, really good things. But when you combine collagen and LumiSpa, what do you get? Better results together, right? The added value of beauty from within and good skincare. And then you look at skin radiance as well, right? Placebo, you see some difference, LumiSpa, but then when you combine both together, you see even better results together. And this study we actually published, it's in a scientific journal, and we're happy to share that for those that want to read into some of the details and the rationale behind the study and all of the other findings that we saw. These are just some of the highlights. So maybe this one to finish up on collagen. We get a lot of questions about this. So we have a powder and we have a liquid. Which one is better absorbed, right? And which one is more effective? Well, in terms of the absorption, let me just say this. We have a powder and you mix it with liquid. So it becomes liquid, right? So you're comparing really liquid to liquid. There's no difference in absorption. These are very, very bioavailable. You're going to absorb them both very, very, very efficiently. The only difference really is just the convenience of the pre-made liquid version. It has a different taste, so a different flavor system, and it's already pre-packaged, so it's very convenient and easy to use. But in terms of absorption and benefits, you're going to get the exact same either way. Hope that clarifies that. Okay, do you have any questions for me about collagen, what we just discussed? I know it was a lot really quickly.
And no, that was great. So the first question actually relates to your last slide. Melissa in South Africa wanted to know, is there any chance of doing our collagen in a pill? Like, would that be effective too? Not that we'll do it, but would it work?
There is a possibility, but because you're using 2.5 grams of these collagen peptides, it would require a lot of pills, and that's not going to be very convenient. So yes, while anything is on the table, that to me is not very likely.
Okay. You'll hear this one a lot, I'm sure. I'm a vegan. I'm vegetarian personally, mostly, except for collagen. Is there a good option for a plant-based collagen?
It's a good question. We've looked at that science and looked at that space. There's a few that are popping up, but as of right now, the science just isn't there. The studies, the efficacy. It's kind of a new area in this space that we will continue to watch and continue to follow and consider using it when the science supports it.
And is that true for the marine collagens as well?
Yeah, well, the fish collagen. So I guess it depends on what type of vegetarian you are, right? There's all these different kinds and categories. We've looked at fish collagen. It's usually not quite as effective, at least as this bovine source in terms of its efficacy and the size and all the research behind it. But yeah, peptides are an interesting area. It's something that we'll continue to look at and explore in the future. We're actively looking at all of these different areas, and it's kind of an exciting time to be in product development. That said, we're sticking with our source for now because it really is the best.
Okay, so I have a great question from Dr. Suzanne Lamont. She always comes up with great questions. What claims can we make with the collagen regarding joint and back support, if any? And then she adds her personal results, which were hide your earmuffs, Tanner, because I know we probably haven't done studies on this, but she said it's actually helped her vocal cords. And I've noticed a change in her voice. And so, she said vocal cords are mostly made up of collagen. I know it helped. What can I personally say about my own results?
Yeah, it's a great question. And to be honest, I mean, we hear feedback and testimonials from people all over, and it's fantastic to hear. The recommendation for, sharing your testimony and what works for you is to align it with the product information page, right? Those have all the approved claims for the product. That's what we recommend that you stick to. Even though we understand and know that, look, sometimes there are benefits above and beyond what we market and what we claim, and those are great. Those are wonderful, but we want you to stick to the marketing. That said, let me just comment on your tendons or joints thing, because there are studies of collagen peptides showing benefits at 5 grams, showing some benefit on joints, tendons, and ligaments. That's the beginning of where we see some nice studies and see some nice benefits. So the focus of our product is going to be about beauty. But what I would tell someone is that if they are interested in some of the tendon, ligament, joint benefits, that if they did take double the dose of our collagen product, then they would get the 5 grams of those peptides, which is an effective dose for those benefits.
You lead me into my next question, which is Christina Cooper-Gom's team wanted to know how much collagen may we drink a day and to have it still be absorbed?
Well, there's not really an upper limit on collagen, so you can take a lot and it's still going to be absorbed very efficiently and be very effective in the body. That said, does it mean that you should take tons and as much as you want and you get, double, triple, quadruple the benefits if you take double, triple, quadruple the dose? That's not really how it works. But the single dose is actually super effective for all the beauty benefits. There's actually a clinical study, the one that I shared on elasticity. They actually compared 2.5 to 5 grams and showed that 2.5 was just as effective at 5 grams for skin elasticity. So that's why there's actually a smaller dose of just 2.5, because people are like, hey, why not take 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever it is? And it's like, well, this is the effective dose and more was not better for beauty. So the way I would answer that is, could you take double the dose if you were interested in the tendons and ligaments and joints? Absolutely. That would be the max that I would recommend to get the biggest benefit and value for the benefits that you're looking for without overdoing it, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. So since it's beauty, I mentioned to you my own personal results, which if you're curious about, anyone on the call can send me a message on Facebook. My dentist has noticed changes. So I think gums are part of beauty. So my personal results have been my recession of my gums has improved, decreased. So basically I have more gum now than I used to. Does that count as beauty, Tanner? Is that a claim I can make, or do I just need to keep it as that's my own personal results?
I'll let you answer that. I'm just the science guy here. But look, I will say that, look, collagen, it's the most abundant protein found in the body. It is found in your gums, right? It's found, well, throughout the entire body. So yes, could there be benefits outside of where we market? Absolutely, right? Exactly what that is. And I think it's going to be different for each individual. In fact, there's a theory in nutrition where the nutrients that you give your body, they're going to be utilized in the area where you need it the most. So, and that's part of the reason why I believe everyone's experience can be a little bit different, right? Why results are going to vary from person to person, but also the benefits and the experience that you have might be different from your neighbor. And to me, I actually think that's okay, because I believe that those nutrients or those peptides are doing the benefit in your body where you might need it the most.
It's funny because I have a lot of hair. I don't need more, but my hairdresser keeps, every time I go in, he's like, do you see where the growth is now? Because he noticed quite significantly about 6 months in that I was getting all these new baby hair. In fact, I have pictures of just hair sticking up on the top of my head. And he's like, these are all new baby hairs you have. And now they're about down to here after a couple of years, which actually brings me to the question, how long does it take someone to see results with collagen?
Well, it starts working immediately, but when you see some of the clinical studies, it usually takes about 4 weeks to see some kind of difference in the skin, but better results after 8 weeks and 12 weeks of consumption, and likely even better results after that.
And it's interesting because with my receding gums, I didn't notice the results for probably 6 months. Maybe it was working elsewhere first, because my nails are like amazing now. I'm so happy with them, but maybe it just was working elsewhere first. So very interesting. Christy Malmberg had the question about the different types, 1, 2, 3, 4, and comparison. I feel like you answered that. Was there anything else you'd want to say on the different types? It sounds like it doesn't matter which type as long as you're getting an effective amount and the dose and the size.
Yeah, maybe just to clarify. So we have different types of collagen found in different parts of the body. For example, type 2 is found in your joints, but you can actually see type 1 collagen that is studied to have a benefit on the joint. So even though it's not the exact type that's found in the joint, you need to think about collagen as a big protein, right? It's not going to be absorbed completely as a protein. It's absorbed in its components, right? Smaller peptides or amino acids. So these are kind of the building blocks that either stimulate the new creation of collagen or act as a building block to create new collagen. So this is why the type doesn't matter, because your body's using these building blocks to be able to create all the different types of collagen in the body. What matters is the dose, the size of the peptides, that they're absorbed efficiently, and that it's actually clinically proven to have that benefit.
Oh, that makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, one last question on collagen, and then we'll move on to NuBiome. So since the collagen is, so for those of you who don't know, we have a scanner that measures antioxidant levels non-invasively. Since collagen is scanner certified, meaning it's guaranteed to raise your scanner rate, your scanner score, would that be true if you're already on Nu Skin products that are raising your scanner score?
Yeah, it'll just raise it more, right? It's guaranteed to raise your scan score. So, wherever you begin, if you begin at 10,000, right, you need some work, or 20,000 or 30,000 or 40,000, whatever it is, right? You're adding carotenoids, lutein, which is very bioavailable, especially in this format. Really good, really Raman active in terms of its ability to actually, go to the skin and detect that difference. And we did a clinical study and saw a really, really nice increase in your scanner response after taking Collagen Plus. And the reason for lutein is actually, as an antioxidant, you're protecting the collagen, right? So if you're taking something to boost collagen, lutein is one of the best and most effective antioxidants to actually protect the collagen from breakdown, because it's helping to reflect some of that blue light and some of the damage that can occur to your skin and your collagen.
That is such a great point. And while you're talking about that, we didn't really get into the three ingredients we didn't go in much depth. Do you want to just talk about the ingredients we added and why?
Sure. So I just talked about the lutein. It's an antioxidant, right? It helps with blue light that we get from the sun, our screens. It's kind of reflects some of that damage and protects the skin. The ceramides are all about moisture and hydration. So they help to kind of keep the skin healthy and hydrated, help with that skin barrier. To me, it's kind of like this umbrella function on the skin, where it helps to keep all the moisture in so that it's not evaporating or drying out. When you're in the sun or in hot and humid climates, you can feel the moisture literally leaving your skin every second. And it helps to keep it all in. So you get the moisture benefit, you get the antioxidant benefit and protection benefit, plus you get all the benefits of the peptides. So it really is a unique blend that you can't find anywhere else.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on to our next topic, which is, well, let's talk a little bit about gut health, why it's important. It's become so big. I know probably 7 or 8 years ago, I remember having conversations with you and Dr. Joe Chang about gut health being, the second brain. So you want to tell us a little bit about the importance of gut health, and then go into NuBiome, our product that addresses the gut health?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my first slide kind of gets into that here, as it's a good transition. So look, the gut has all these microbes inside of it, right? We have our cells that we focus on in human physiology, but we actually have more microbes than human cells, okay? And so these microbes are bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa. They live within us, right? We have learned to co-evolve with all of these foreign critters that now live with us and inside of us. And it used to be thought that, gut health was about these microbes and they impact digestion. But today we know it impacts essentially everything in the body, right? It impacts your brain and your lungs, even your skin, so many different things, your immunity, your metabolism. And so taking care of the gut is one of the first and most important things that we can do to take care of the rest of our body. It's almost like we take care of these little microbes, and these microbes then take care of our body for us. So looking at that science, we were able to create a new innovative gut health product called NuBiome. Now, NuBiome is great for those who have tried it. It's awesome for those who haven't. I highly recommend it. It's going to support gut health with these pre and postbiotics. So let me talk about those key ingredients here. So we have XOS, or xylo-oligosaccharide. This is a very powerful, very effective prebiotic fiber that helps to promote healthy bacteria in the gut. It helps with digestion, it helps with bowel movements. And then we have a postbiotic, which is also very effective. We have caffeine, or a caffeine-free version as well. And then we have pomegranate, which is a very, very powerful antioxidant. So you combine all these ingredients and voila. It's almost like magic. Look at all of these benefits on the screen. I'm not going to read through them all. There's too many benefits to read through for this product, but it's just absolutely incredible. From just the bowel movements, digestion, antioxidants, intestinal health, and microbiome, in addition to all the benefits on bloating. So, bloating, I mentioned a new word here. This is a new claim. All of these benefits related to severity and duration and bloating effects and waist circumference, this is all new. So where is this coming from? Well, let's get into that. Oh, sorry, I'm skipping ahead. We actually got one more slide here. Just a few other things. You take one per day. It's got a delicious flavor, free of artificial colors, flavors, and sweeteners, gluten-free. Great for anyone that wants all these benefits, plus benefits related to bloating. So we did a clinical study, and sorry, now would be a good time to have a question. My throat's a little dry here. Let me get some water.
Okay, well, I have a question that's sort of unrelated to this, but related. And I have two people who asked, one about obesity. Does obesity and adipose fat interfere with absorption of nutrients and of products? And two, would someone who's been using Ozempic for weight loss, would there be, I mean, I think anyone should use NuBiome, but would there be a reason for them to use NuBiome after being on a product for weight loss?
Great question. So in terms of the Ozempic thing, I mean, obviously we didn't test our product, before or after people that are taking Ozempic for weight loss, but in terms of just some of the side effects that people experience, there certainly is potential for benefit there, right? Where people want to improve their microbiome, right? They want to improve their body's digestion and bowel movements, and all of these things are connected. That said, I do want to clarify, it's not a weight loss product, right? In fact, a lot of people, could they experience weight loss with it? Absolutely, but that's your diet and lifestyle, right? So it's not a magic bullet for that, but would it be complementary? Absolutely, right? What was the first question you asked? I got sidetracked on the GLP-1 stuff. That's a big hot topic.
Does obesity or adipose fat interfere with absorption of nutrients and or products?
That's a good question. Obesity on its own probably doesn't really interfere with your ability to absorb nutrients. I mean, because your body adapts and evolves, and as you get bigger, you're obviously absorbing calories very, very efficiently and nutrients. But of course, that can then change nutrient demands and different things as well to consider. But yeah, overall, that's going to be okay. Maybe the one comment I'll have there is that sometimes that people that get, really obese and they need some kind of surgery to, shrink their stomach, so to speak, right? And you know what I mean? They have all these different kinds of issues. That's when absorption could be impacted. And absorption can be impacted by many other things, including your microbiome. Actually, your microbiome does play a big role. And maybe that's what you were alluding to. Your microbiome impacts absorption and digestion of many vitamins, of many nutrients, of the calories that we consume. They actually produce these short chain fatty acids, and they can impact the rest of the body. And so, yeah, like I said at the beginning, taking care of your microbiome is critical because that takes care of you. So it does impact nutrient absorption. It does impact so many different things. So.
And just one quick question while we're on that topic. I assume the answer to this one is please ask your doctor. Someone asked, is it okay to use NuBiome if you've had gastric bypass surgery?
Yeah, always check with the doc. Generally, the recommendation for supplements is to use like smaller doses, more split up throughout the day, just to be able to maximize absorption. Because there is actually a rationale, because they're not absorbing nutrients as efficiently. There's a greater rationale to actually supplement with good nutrients in the diet that are going to take care of the microbiome, but also make sure that you're not having nutrient deficiencies. So, so here we go. We're moving on to this clinical study. It's fantastic. So this is a double-blind, placebo-controlled study in healthy individuals that had some kind of bloating, right? They said they experienced some bloating in their life, and they either received the placebo or NuBiome, the caffeine-free version in this study, and they got these ingredients. And pretty much what happened in the study is we gave them the product and we said, okay, you have to come in for a challenge meal at the beginning of the study and at the end of the study. And this challenge meal is 2 slices of cheese pizza. Okay. For those that love pizza, it's great. But this is a food that is known to induce bloating. So in this study, these are the results. And we were super impressed with what happened. So if you look at the graph here, you can see the blue line. This is going to represent NuBiome. This is measuring their waist circumference, or in science terms, your abdominal distension, right? Your abs or your tummy, your stomach, it usually stretches and goes out when you eat foods that are known to cause bloating. And that's exactly what we see in the placebo group. You can see after the challenge meal, right? They felt bloated, and you can measure that difference with the waist circumference. Their tummies got a little bigger. And then it continued to increase after 4 weeks in their test meal. However, in the NuBiome group, it not only reduced that effect, we're seeing a reduction in waist circumference, which is a super powerful benefit on bloating. In fact, I like to comment here that even if the NuBiome group had a little bit of an increase in their waist circumference, but it wasn't as much as the placebo group. Say, for example, in the placebo group, they increased by a few centimeters and it only increased by a centimeter in the NuBiome group. Well, that's still a benefit on bloating, but we're seeing like a complete reversal of the bloating. It's an incredible, awesome effect that continues to get better over time. So, and by the way, I should point out about this study, we looked at the science literature for the ingredients to see if any of the ingredients would have a benefit on bloating, and we couldn't point to any study where these ingredients are actually studied to have that benefit. So it was a big risk that the company took to say, well, okay, let's just roll the dice and see if it would benefit or help people with bloating. Now, we knew the microbiome is connected to bloating, so that was our connection. We had a rationale, but we're like, okay, let's make a little gamble, a calculated risk. And the results that we saw right here were so phenomenal. When we got the results back, we were like screaming on the inside and on the outside, maybe a little bit, because this is just fantastic for everyone that's gone through bloating or experiences, chronic bloating. It's uncomfortable. It could be, some pressure, some gas, some buildup. And this result is just phenomenal.
And one of the things I want to mention, because not everyone understands just how expensive clinical trials are to do. So when Tanner says it's a risk, it's a big financial, it's a big financial hit either way. And if you don't get a good result, we don't make the claim or we don't release the product. So I just wanted to make sure people understand, like, Nu Skin really invests in the science, which is why we have people like Tanner and why we have so much science behind each product. So thanks, Tanner.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? So people were taking the product and they're like, wow, I'm seeing benefits on bloating. And we're like, well, you can't make that claim. We can't point to science of a study on one of these ingredients that it supports bloating. And so we're like, well, if we want to make the claim, we want to have good science that backs it up. So we did a clinical study. It does cost a lot of money when you do it the right way. When you have the NuBiome group and a placebo group, and you have it done third party, and yeah, these results were just phenomenal. So there are many, many other reasons. Yeah.
I was reminding me of, when we used to show that, and I know you still do, show the slide of the age lock science, which some of you don't know about yet. Sorry, that's a whole other call. But that it was the mixture of ingredients that we looked for where the best results were. And so do you think it's the mixture of these ingredients, or do you think, what is your thought on why none of those particular ingredients had a study showing that they had benefit? Do you think that was just a missing study, or do you think it was the mixture?
It's a good question. It's hard to prove, but there actually was one study in literature with one of the ingredients that showed no benefit or no difference in bloating. So because of that, I actually do believe there is some synergy with the blend of ingredients working together, right? So the XOS is working on the microbiome, but we know the pomegranate is as well. It's not considered a prebiotic, but we know that some of the polyphenols from pomegranate are actually metabolized by the microbiome as well. So there's some kind of added microbiome benefit there. You combine it with the BPL1 and some of the research there. Yeah, it probably is a combination, but I think what's cool about this study is that we're the first to show that these ingredients, at least blended together, have a benefit on bloating that we can't confirm from individual ingredients. So there is something to the blend. That's a great question. So where did I get here? So this is just another slide showing how quick people experience ease from bloating. And 75% of the subjects in the study had relief within 1 hour. And 100% had relief within 3 hours. So they all had relief in the NuBiome group. But the poor people in the placebo group, you know, I actually read this was an open-ended question where we said, how quickly did you experience relief? And the answers in the placebo group were all over the place. We're like, never, no relief, multiple days, I didn't feel a difference. So they're probably thinking like, okay, I got the product and this product doesn't work, or I got the placebo, because they don't know. They're randomized into either the NuBiome or the placebo group. But this actually shows a dramatic difference that, you know what, the product really is making a difference. It's not a placebo effect. Like, it's really changing your body's physiology and microbiome to improve bloating versus just the placebo where you tell your mind, oh, this is probably helping me. That's not the case in this study. And there's actually other graphs. If we had tons of time, I'd go through all of them, but I won't today, that show differences on the severity of bloating, on the number of days that people experience bloating, the ease or the relief or the quick relief that people experience with bloating, which is why, based on our clinical study, we have all of these brand new claims to support all of these different aspects of bloating, including the reduced waist circumference.
And that was done with the caffeine-free version, correct?
Yes.
Wow.
So it
Great.
makes it a little bit more globally friendly. And because the caffeine isn't having a direct impact on bloating, or at least a bloating benefit, we decided to study it in the version without, so that it would apply to either version.
And this is interesting because Dr. Lamont also asked, how many samples should we give someone to see if it works? And, if it, obviously this shows one, like in one, they should see a difference. I mean, maybe not always, well, 75% of the time, but over time too. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, this is 75% have relief within 1 hour, but it's 100% within 3 hours. So everyone in the NuBiome group got relief. It's just fascinating with 75% within 1 hour. So it does show there's an immediate bloating benefit or relief of bloating benefit for most subjects, and all when you add 3 hours worth of time, which is still actually fairly quick, after you have a meal. But I do want to point out and go back to this, you can see immediate benefits, but you see better results over time. So sure, could you take it as just kind of a one-time sample? You go out with your friends, you have some cheese pizza or some hamburgers and fries, or the foods that are causing bloating and that uncomfortable feeling. Sure, have it then, have an immediate benefit, but tell them to take it daily, because you get better results over time when you take it every single day. So,
and one could extrapolate that would be with caffeine or without. Since we know it works without caffeine, I would assume the results would be equally good, if not better, with the caffeine too.
Absolutely. Yep, the caffeine, the only difference, the caffeine is for that little extra pick-me-up, right? It's more for that mental like energy that you get, right? Where people have the fatigue, the tiredness, especially in the middle of the day, if they want that little pick-me-up with more, clean, natural energy from the caffeine. To me, it's actually a great replacement for all of the other maybe not so healthy caffeine sources that exist in the marketplace, where you get it with, energy drinks, for example. This is going to be a much better alternative, and it's going to help with your microbiome, digestion, bowel movements, and bloating, and all of the benefits I talked about today. So I didn't get to this, but I did want to wrap up with this in terms of just the presentation part. So we asked the subjects at the end of the study just some questions, and you can see after 4 weeks, which is a relatively short period of time, by the way, we I anticipate even better results if people take it even longer, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, etc. But 86% agreed NuBiome helped ease bloating after meals. 75% agreed NuBiome calmed bloating quickly. 82% reported experiencing a reduction in bloating. 68% had experienced improvement in digestive health and well-being. What I like about the well-being part is that it kind of connects the dots between, yes, the microbiome and these symptoms, but how that impacts your life, and what you want to do just with your energy and being out with friends and going to parties or doing sports or traveling or whatever it might be, right? There is that connection between the gut and overall well-being. And maybe it's just the uncomfortable feeling that people have when they're like, oh, I might regret these foods. I'm, going to be in the bathroom, and I don't want to get too gross here on the call. but you see what I'm saying? Like just the connection between gut health, microbiome, bloating, and well-being. You're seeing a really, really nice improvement and change there too. And then 82% reported experiencing less digestive discomfort. So overall, this really is more than just a digestive health product. To me, it actually becomes a wellness product, right? Where people are just feeling better overall. And then down at the bottom, the poor people in the placebo group, 0% agreed with any of these statements. So even with the placebo, they're not having these benefits. They're not seeing any difference or any change. It really was the supplement and the blend that's impacting all of these areas. So these are these are some of the new claims that we get because of this clinical study. And I didn't go through every single little detail, but this is the end result in just severity, number of days, just overall, look, people are feeling better. People in the NuBiome group, they were happy they were in the NuBiome group. Let's just point it at that. And I think maybe my recommendation for everyone on the call is, you know what, give it a shot, try it out. And a lot of people need this benefit. A lot of people, a lot of friends and family, they're looking for something to improve their well-being, to, reduce waist circumference related to bloating, right? I'm not going to say this is a magic reduce waist circumference for weight loss. That's different, right? That's combined with diet and lifestyle. This is related to bloating, which to me is actually more powerful, that the product really is changing people and improving their lives. So, I do have a few testimonials, right? Before and after pictures, right? What presentation could we have without finishing without a before and after? But look at this. So this is, you can see baseline after one use, and then after week 4. To me, I can see a difference, right? I can see the reduced bloating. I can see the reduced waist circumference. To me, it's pretty dramatic. You can see it after one use, but especially after week 4. That's why I say take it every day for best results to be consistent. However, what if you were in the placebo group, right? The poor souls that didn't get the benefit. They have the opposite effect. They have the effect that nobody wants to see or have. But you can see in the picture, even after one use with that test meal, look, that cheese pizza is not doing her any favors, right? And then after week 4, it's even worse, right? So you can see the increase compared to the decrease or the benefit that you can get with our product. So yeah, any questions? There's my NuBiome training on the new clinical and the benefits that it has.
I do have some questions, and if for those of you who need to hop off, please hop off. We're going to go over questions and then a new product. So we won't be long, but don't feel like you have to stay on if you need to go. So one question, Chris Geringer, sorry, I don't want to mispronounce, Geringer, said some say they dilute it and sip on it all on NuBiome. They sip on it all day long. Do you think it would matter if they take it all at once or over time? Any thoughts on that?
For the overall just digestive health and bowel movement and antioxidant benefits and the microbiome benefits, you can sip on it all day and you're going to get the same benefit either way. But what I will say, for the immediate benefit on bloating that we noted in the clinical study, you probably should take it all at once or at that same time with the meal to have that immediate benefit. So long term, it's probably going to be the same either way, but for the short term immediate bloating benefit, you should take it with the meal all at the same time.
Okay. Next question, also from Chris. Can you take more than one a day?
Yeah, 2 per day would be my max recommended limit. But my same caveat as before, does it mean you get double the benefits? No. Can you take it if you feel like you get more benefits by taking 2 versus 1 per day? Absolutely.
Here's a question that actually applies to NuBiome and collagen. Can you drink it hot, not boiling, but can you drink it hot like a tea, or does that compromise the effectiveness?
No, the ingredients in both collagen and NuBiome have really good heat stability. So, I mean, as long as it's not boiling and, you know, you don't want to, there's no safety concerns, right? If it's, you know, hot water, kind of like a tea or something like that, as long as it's not burning your mouth, you can mix it that way and consume. And in fact, if you want, you could take the NuBiome and combine it with the collagen and do just kind of a little, you know, bigger tea, so to speak, and combine them together and take it that way if that's your preference. Of course, you're going to mix the flavors together, but I do know some people that do that, and you'll get, look, as long as you get those ingredients inside of your body, you're going to get the benefits of both products.
So do you know if there's any synergy? That was actually one of my questions. I think Christina Cooper-Gom asked, is there any synergy of taking them both together, or is it just one of those, we don't know, it's fine to do it?
It's a great question. I mean, we'd want to have a clinical study to prove synergy or enhanced benefits above and beyond just taking the product by itself. We know that, of course, if you take both products, you get the benefits of both products, and they do add or stack on top of each other. So they are complementary to one another. We do know that the microbiome can impact things related to collagen, and that collagen can also impact things related to the microbiome. So could there be some overlap and some added value of taking both products together? Absolutely. That's one of those things where, to prove synergy, we'd love to do a clinical study. A lot of our budgets for clinical studies, though, is focused on maybe other things and the future at this point, but maybe that's something we consider in the future.
I know this isn't your role in the company, but I have been asked by Christina Cooper-Gom and I think the Jacksons whether we would do a subscription for the two together, the NuBiome and collagen. So just throw that around the company.
Throw it around. I'll throw it around. I know people in the company, so I can certainly pass that feedback on. I mean, just so you know, in the science role, it's all about formulating products, and then each individual market decides more of the strategy behind, you know, packaging and pricing and all of that good stuff. So yes, I will pass it on for you.
Thank you. Okay. June's son wanted to know, can kids take NuBiome?
For kids, my answer is always going to be check with the doc. These ingredients are good. They're very safe, but they were formulated for adults. And so just kind of a double check as a safety precaution if you want to recommend it to kids.
Okay, 2 more questions, and then we'll let you do a little plug for the new product that's coming. Someone asked, is there any thought to providing an additional flavor of NuBiome, for example, an orange flavor?
It's a good question. I mean, we could always make new flavors. That's always fun and exciting in product development. Usually what happens when we make more flavors of the same product, it just splits the sales. So we don't like increase sales by making new flavors. And it is kind of a costing thing for the company where you have to manufacture, right, a new product with a new, well, it's the same product, but it's a new flavor profile. And so because of the cost and usually no added value for the company with multiple flavors, it's something we can consider, but it's not usually our focus or our priority. But that said, sometimes what we do is kind of a limited time offering where we, you know, experiment with a new flavor and we can get it out there. So we can definitely discuss that.
Awesome. Kind of a question that's not really totally product related, but it is. I recently had someone say, I heard you're not supposed to take probiotics by themselves, that they're not effective. What's your understanding of that?
They are effective. You can take it on its own or with food.
Okay.
There are studies both ways.
Okay, perfect. So I think what's ahead, Tanner? I know you have a product you're really excited about, so you want to just give us a little bit of the highlights of this next product and wrap it up?
because my voice needs a little break. So here's your last quick plug for the future. Everybody always wants to know, well, what's coming next? Well, a big thing that is coming next is called Mind 360. Now, as a company, we obviously don't know how to spell very well. That's your joke of the day. Mind is spelled M-I-N-D, right? But it stands for My New Day 360. So it's a holistic approach to brain health. So we have a new sleep product, a new focus product, a new stress product, a new memory product, and they're fantastic. We actually have 2 skincare products as well that go along with this. We have an energizing body wash, and then we have a relaxing body lotion or cream. So it's kind of the synergy behind, right, skincare and nutrition, but this is going to be awesome. Come to live to learn all about this.
Tanner, as a woman of a certain age, you had me at sleep. That's all I need to hear. Sleep. Yes, I'll take it, as many as I can get. So thank you so much for your time, Tanner. I know we keep meaning to keep you back, but I could listen to you all day long. Your knowledge is so deep and broad, and I really appreciate it. And I want to, of course, thank Martha Sanchez for translating for our Spanish-speaking viewers, and Scott Van Pelt, as always. Really appreciate you. And so, Tanner, I can't wait till next time. Thank you so much. And if you want to see Tanner dance, which you do want to see, trust me, you've got to go to Nu Skin for Team Elite University, or for sure for Nu Skin Live in July. So thanks again. Appreciate you all. Have a great day. Bye.